Hello, today we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of self-networking yourself. Hi, if we haven't met, I'm Stephanie A., and I am the founder and executive director here at Adoption and Beyond. We have helped thousands of families build their family through adoption, and we would love to share our step-by-step process with you as well. So when you go to adoption, there's many different ways to be able to adopt. In fact, there's 6. So I'm going to link to a quiz down below to help you figure out which of the 6 is the right for your family. And one of those is what is called self-networking. It's also called private adoptions, independent adoptions, identified adoptions. It's called all kinds of different things. But today we're going to refer to it as either self-networking or private adoption. So there are 6 do's and don'ts. So the first one we're going to follow is do follow the law. That's really important because each state has their own adoption laws, and some states allow families to self-network themselves and to let others know that they're wanting to adopt. And some states, you're not allowed to do that unless you're a licensed agency or sometimes even a licensed attorney. So just know that before you do anything self-networking related, be sure that you get to know your state laws. And you can feel free to, like for example, Adoption Beyond, we offer free consultations. And so anybody can schedule that and learn a little bit more and learn about what is allowed in their state. So find a local agency and get a free consultation, or sometimes even attorneys offer free consultations, and find out what is allowed and is not allowed in your state before you begin self-networking. And let me take a moment just to kind of explain a little bit about what self-networking is. And there are, as I mentioned, 6 different ways to be able to adopt. And one of those is doing your own self-networking. So basically letting people know you want to adopt. Family, friends, coworkers, neighbors. You can even do so much more than just that. And that just means you're putting yourself out there to let people know you're wanting to adopt, with the hopes that a situation will come along with someone who is looking at adoption for their child and will come across your information and want to look at working with you for an adoption plan. So number 2 is don't compromise your privacy. So be really careful when you're putting yourself out there that you don't give out too much private information, because there are scammers out there who have been known to take advantage of vulnerable adopting families. So be sure that you keep your information as private as possible when you're first networking. Now, once you meet someone and you feel a good connection with them, then you can feel free to share more information. But when you're initially starting, be sure you keep your information as private as possible for your own protection. Number 3 of the 6 is be sure that you do use appropriate adoption language. So for example, a woman who is pregnant and considering adoption for her child is considered either expectant parent or an expecting parent, or a mom considering adoption for her child. They are not a birth parent until they have signed their relinquishments and they have placed a child for adoption. So be aware of using the appropriate language when beginning the adoption process. So before I tell you number 4, be sure you stick around for number 6, because number 6 is probably the most important one to keep in mind. Number 4 is do not leave your adoption profile at random doctor's offices. So let me first explain what adoption profile is. A profile is something that you put together for expecting moms to view and to get to know you and to get to know more about your family. And this is sometimes a physical book. It's can also be, like I said, a physical book, or it can be an electronic book. But when you make a physical copies to be able to give out to other people to share with someone they may come across who is considering adoption, but do not leave them at random doctor's offices. They will get tossed into the trash. Be sure that if you're going to give your profile to a doctor, be sure that you know that doctor and you have a relationship with that doctor. They're much more likely to keep your stuff, and you will not waste a lot of money and time sending them out to random doctors. Do not do that. Number 5, do use a blog or website or an electronic profile or social media to let people know that you are wanting to adopt. Make it easily shareable for other people to be able to provide to someone who may be considering adoption for their child. So be sure you do have those, and there are different companies that offer these services, and to make it really easy for you to create all the elements that you need for someone to get to know your family. Okay, number 6, this is the big one. Do not attempt to do your adoption on your own. Be sure you hire the professionals that are needed. For example, an adoption agency who can provide you and your expecting parents with the proper counseling and advice and guidance, and also an adoption attorney to be able to help you take the legal steps that you need to be able to do your adoption properly. There are so many things that are so different from state to state that is allowed and not allowed, and don't do it on your own. Hire the professionals to be able to help hold your hand. So I hope you found the 6 do's and don'ts of self-networking helpful. Just know that you are in the right place to build your family in your own unique way. Thanks so much. Bye.